Now we are ready. So we were talking about conventional methods to purify the mind. So it's not only the purification of the mind that you'll be surprised that the how daily life becomes meaningful. Time management, expression of peace and the joy in relations, in situations, in difficult challenges. There is a fine alignment with the world around us. And that is what the purity of the mind is. I will talk in length, in detail, but today I'm just giving you a brief idea that we are busy, fully busy, because of selfishness. And the selfishness is considered as the greatest impurity. Selflessness is the greatest purity. You see, we started talking about the purity of the mind pertaining to the desire, and now the master's coming down to a level where we take care of our daily living. You wake up in the morning, you're happy in the morning, you're happy in the afternoon, in the evening, in a different situation, is the sign of purity of the mind. So it also acts as a bridge between the world outside and you. So that is why these conventional means traditional methods, common layman methods, we need not to think, simply understand and apply in the mind. But if we do not apply in the mind, the impurity will continue to remain. That is why we have taken, I have also to talk the highest method of purity once we finish all these conventional methods of the purity. Recap, you can say that conventional method, uh, purity of the mind is absolutely essential. If the purity of the mind is not there, the meditation or the mindfulness will not succeed. And we will keep a big gap between our outer material life with the inner spiritual life. Purity is absolutely essential, without which we cannot reach to the higher state of mindfulness or meditation. It will not work like you see that, we see that different professions and scam comes from the mind. So that mind has to be pure to give way to awakening. Master says, practice remain fruitless without purification. You do whatever. You can sit in meditation for 5 hours, but if the impurity is present, nothing will work out. Gradually, it will rebound. You have to repay that. Another point that we have understood that the good karma alone is insufficient. I have already helped you. People say that, I did this. No, that is the part of the karma. First, should be the purity of the mind, followed by the good karma. So we have understood. Do you still remember Kakachesta Bakodhyanam, the 5 characteristics of a seeker, the highest seeker? Kakachesta, the effort like a crow. Do you realize that how deeper, keen perception these masters had? You might have studied, you might have read the story of a crow who put the pebble into the jar and ultimately he drank the water. So there is no question of a failure in this journey of a self-discovery. The moment you have an idea that I'm failing, you have to make an effort. You have to recognize, we have to understand, no, I have to continue the journey. There is no way out. So that is what the effort of a crow. And Bakodhyanam, obviously the focused approach. I'm not worthy of suffering. That is very clear to my mind. It is 100% clear I am not worthy of suffering. And then I will find out how the mind is claiming that I am suffering. I have to get rid of that. So that gives you a tremendous focus in our life for the journey of the self-discovery, and everything is going on outside. You are living your worldly life. There is no interference at all. Third is swan and idra tathaivcha. So it's a symbolic. The sleep like a dog means that when the moment you sleep, you fall into a sound, deep sleep. Why? Because the mind is pure. Modern psychology, couple of research studies were done, and they say that number of thoughts present in the mind at the time of the sleep is directly, or I would say inversely proportional, is inversely proportional to the sound sleep. You have no thoughts, your sleep will be very sound. But why these thoughts are there? Because of the impurity of the mind. Alpahari, grahatyagi. So there are two more factors. The alpahari, the filter out overeating, and second is filter out the unnecessary, unwanted thoughts. You see, that is why we have to study with the teacher. This verse says grahatyagi, you leave the house. No, it is you leave that house which causes the mind impure. So it's more symbolic. Now coming to the conventional methods. There are many conventional methods. One is known as yajna, the second is charity, we will talk about it. Third is the austerity or endurance. Fourth is the japa. We will change the practice of meditation when we will be doing the japa. Fifth is the pilgrimage, and sixth is the small vows we take. And we have covered, then we will come to the first one, the yajna. Yajna simply means sacrifices, the literal translation. Perhaps that does not clear what exactly is the yajna. So yajna redefines our daily life, daily thought, daily speech and action. How we think, speak and act in the world. With the immediate world, with the non-living things. And especially here there are 5 or 6 types of yajna. The first yajna is known as the Deva Yajna. Dev means the God, but here the master, when the master realized that earth is already always giving, the air is already giving us, the water is already giving us, they do not send us the bill. So they have symbolically raised their status of 5 elements as a god. So it has nothing to do with the god in a traditional sense. So because our mind is obsessed with the selfishness, egocentric, is the cause of majority of the sufferings in daily life, and that causes the impurity of the mind. So that is the first point that we did it. Because we feel and choose the way we wanted to live in the world. And the way we feel and choose the way we wanted to live in the world has an element of impurity. I have to expand my awareness to the entire world outside is the basic of the first type of the yajna. So again, make it very clear. Yajna simply means you connect, you contribute, and you create a favorable condition by being grateful. I'm alive because of the air. I'm alive because of this body. I'm alive because of the five elements are around me. In cases of the impurity, the mind is not at all concerned. Mind is not at all concerned about it. What happens, the subtle part of it, that I expand my awareness beyond my body. I expand my awareness beyond my relations. I expand that expansion of awareness is the purity of the mind. I believe you are getting that expansion of awareness is the purity of the mind. Because then the selfishness starts, thoughts pertaining to it will simply drop. Yajna means areas of contribution, gratitude, and Yajna means to connect to the material universe outside, whose existence is my existence, of the body, of the mind, of the breath, of the intellect, of the ego. Connecting to the existence consciously at the personal, professional, social, family life and the world of people, places, and the locations. So it means I start living from a moment to moment. It prevents the mind to become impure, to remain impure. Another part that is very important, that it starts bringing a change in our attitude and a behavior. You need not to worry about the time management, daily working. It will happen by itself naturally. Now we talk a lot about time is money and etc. You will never be late. You will always be in time because you are connected to it. Now think in other way. All our achievements, success, prosperity are related to the same existence outside. You talk about your achievement and success and prosperity, all are related to the existence. And that is why we raise our awareness from where the quality and the quantity of achievement, success, prosperity comes to our life. And that keeps the mind pure. All our achievements, wealth, possessions, recognition belongs to this. So this is, the first, I'm just elaborating little more so that you start living life through these conventional methods from today. Why? You will find mind is always relaxed and calm. Mind continues to follow the journey of the self-discovery. It remains naturally focused, and that gives a great opportunity to be absorbed in meditation and mindfulness. Now, what happens? Think of it. We connect to the highly unpredictable world consciously. So, 50% of your challenges are not the challenges. Again, I'm repeating, we connect to the highly unpredictable world outside, world of people, of places, of situation, of condition. Consciously, I'm connected to my body what is going to happen tomorrow. But if I'm unconsciously connected, then see what happens. Oh, then we start crying, emotional dependence comes. You have to see this journey of purification of the mind through the conventional methods in this way. So the masters have, perhaps they might have thought of it, contemplated and reflected that how you are grateful to the existence outside. So there is a ritual in a form of a ritual. They say, okay, we offer the bouquet when we go to others' house. Only once you can offer the bouquet mentally to the existence outside. Mentally, I'm grateful. So the way we start thinking, our behavior is going to change. It drops the element of emotional dependence and attachment. It minimizes the sorrow and the suffering. There is no surprise when the challenges comes to your life. You get rid of the delusion element. You are already free from the delusion. So there is no problem. Problem comes, body. Take an example, the body is aging. It will have some problems, so there is no surprises. You get rid of that delusion, that wrong notion. I told you before also, this guy was very close to the, well, in 2011 and 12, when I was in New Jersey, he was very close to our president then. So his main question was that now I am 74 and I did not have any problem when I was 45, now I have a problem. I'm cutting this story short, and then he went into deep depression. He was only thinking about it. The very first question, I taught him for about 2 years, the very first question was in his mind that now why I have a problem. I did not have any problem. And he died because of a deep anxiety. Ultimately, it was a depression, and he kept on thinking like this. Another part in this yajna, in this section of the yajna, this classification of the yoga, it is known as the Deva Yajna. Deva means God, and God means the giving. Take it in that way, not in a other sense. So existence giving us every moment. Can I give through my mind? Can I connect to it? Can I be grateful? Can I be contribute by being grateful? Why? The selfishness will go away. Practical application. Emotional dependence will dissolve. So we are contributing here in this section of the conventional method of yajna is that we are contributing mentally, offering something. We have a tradition in India that anytime I followed that tradition. Anyone who comes to my house and I say, okay, forget about that, let's have food first. It's a way of contribution. It's a way of investing in relationship. This yajna changes the way we perceive the world. And if my perception changes in my mind, it is going to purify the mind. Think of it. If you have doubt, you can send the email and you can also raise the question. I'm grateful, I pay gratitude, I contribute, so you are important to me. That is why I am contributing, that is why I am grateful. We are grateful because you are important to me. So it is if I use the word, it is selflessness enhancing program to get rid of the challenges our mind poses in delusion. So what happens? What is going to happen if you try this week? The life is a goal oriented, not oriented to attachment and detachment. And what is the goal? To evolve and help everyone to evolve. Then you don't have a time to think how my honey is opposing me. You don't have a time to think. Maybe in relations or people or business, but you are so much keen and focused, you find out what the others are expecting and how to move in relationship by thought, speech, and action. So your mind is not hanging on those issues of anxiety, of reaction, of duality, and a conflict. I believe you must be getting it. You all are seekers. It also helps us to raise our capacity, our readiness, our ability to respond to the unfavorable situations. I told you, the world is unpredictable. It can bring any situation or any action at any moment, at any time. So we have taken in the first part of this yajna. Yajna are six types. I told you the five conventional methods. One of them is yajna, and then yajna has also five or six classifications. So first we have taken which appears too far from us. These five elements appear too far from us, but they are extremely near, very near to us. My existence is related to the sun. Sun is not there, I am not alive. Normally we say, I will die because of you. Better you die. It is an emotional dependence. Why you should die for me? One king became enlightened, and then there was a war between the two kingdoms. The minister said that should we take over, should we invade that kingdom? That king became a monk, and monk said that to kill those people, minister said. King said, everyone has to die one day. It will take them almost 6 months to invade our kingdom, and and the and the journey has to going through the forest. They will die themselves, so don't worry about it. The message is very clear that why should I complain and blame that I will die because of you? I have to die one day. Get rid of the emotional attachment, and that results into the purity of the mind. We will talk about another Pitra Yajna. I will give you the ritual part of it, and then I will give you the mental and emotional part of that journey. That too is all these six types of yajna are very important. First thing how should I connect myself to everyday living consciously? To live in the state of the calmness, to face the unpredictable situation in the world. Every day, every moment. Imagine, just think and dream of that life. It's not a question whether you have it and you don't have it. It doesn't make any difference. Buddha left the kingdom completely. He became a beggar. And we still study him. We follow his teachings. So it's not a question of what you have, what you don't have, what you possess, what you don't possess, whether you are a single or married. But your perception about the world changes because you connect consciously every day. Goal again. Don't forget the goal. Goal is the purity of the mind. What the master said, purity of the mind is absolutely essential to succeed in the highest meditation or mindfulness. What the highest meditation mindfulness does, it reveals the knowledge about the real self. Let us start our practice. Eyes are closed and eyes are closed. Body position of the body. Check that you are settled in the comfort. Now, do you see that, I have changed the expression. First few practices are mostly the same. Still struggling with the body, breath, mind, position of the body. Why it is so? Because I am not connected consciously to the world. Body is the world. Body is this external universe because it is made up of the matter. Same way with the breath connected to the air element. I am sitting because of the earth. That makes you comfortable. Being comfortable, we go a little deeper. That settled in the comfort, behind and beyond current state of the mind. No duality, conflict in the mind means we are aware and consciously connecting. Now see how you are consciously connecting. Go a little deeper. Look at the neck joint. Look at the neck joint. First you connect it to the matter. Neck joint is a matter. Then you experience sensation, comfort and steadiness. That is the mind. Because all experiences takes place in the mind. What is after that? The mind naturally moves into the space. What is that space? Space is awareness and awareness is space. I covered that last week on Saturday, I think. Move the mind on the shoulder joints. Gradually, gently you move there. Why you gently move? You want to connect consciously. You are not looking to force the body to go into the comfort. You are connecting. Mind it. Be mindful of what I am saying. You see, that is an expansion of awareness or the mind. My friends, then you experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness, and space, hip joint, being there. Now I can go without explaining. Hip joint, sensation, comfort, and steadiness, space. Space is awareness, awareness is space. Where to go? Live there, be there. Introducing very interesting part of it. You will be enjoying that, I know. Now being carefree. So like the highway, we have 3 lanes highway. Example. Lane number 1. Categorize. What is the lane number 1? Unwelcome, uninvited thoughts. Because of that, mind says, I'm pissed off, I wanted to meditate, but I had a wandering mind. That is only the lane number 1. What is the lane number two? Lane number two is what I'm talking to you. What I'm talking, I'm passing on the knowledge and the understanding. Lane number one and the two both are independent. But what happens when I am selfish, when I'm attached, then what happens? I push myself again and again to lane number one. Simply I said, lane number one, unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, feelings, sensation, past impression, images belong to the lane number one. Lane number two is the instruction and the knowledge. Lane number three is the result that you experience. Oh, all the three are in the mind? Yes. Now you can easily understand what do you mean by being carefree. Why you are carefree? They are independent lanes. They are interconnected. So if you are not consciously connected, what happens? The lane number one says, I am the only one. Then you experience the wandering mind, thoughts of emotional dependence, and long list, past impression. Lane number two, knowledge. Lane number three, you are already carefree. That is the result. Lane number three, what I am thinking. Can I be carefree all the time? The answer is yes. Answer is yes. What should be clear to our mind is that there are three lanes in the mind or in the highway. They are independent. Lane number one overpowers me because of, where is the focus? Just find out. And where should be our focus? This mind is never going to disturb you at any point of time in your life from today if you have understood it clearly. Now, with that understanding, we are feeding the lane number two. We are not fighting with the lane number one. How we are feeding? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. You see, be very clear. Your goal is not fighting with the lane number one. You are introducing the knowledge in the lane number two. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Let everyone be happy. And then this knowledge in the lane number two goes deeper. What prevents the lane number one? But you continue. You are not worried about it. So that knowledge goes deeper, converts into pure awareness, results into an experience. That is the lane number three. Just a symbolic way to understand. It is my own expression, depending on you all. I fairly understood. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Let there be peace for all. Meaning peace is our essential nature. It is the essential nature of all the living species. What it means, does the existence demanding us to live into the peace? You move little further into the lane number 2 and you see a free passage. I will say a how lane, and you enter into it. You don't struggle. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Let there be completeness in all. And then it goes deeper. You are receiving that knowledge in the lane number 2. That makes the mind purified, it goes deeper, it returns, and then jumps into the lane number 3. I'm just trying to make you a symbolic understanding through a metaphor of 3 lanes. And you realize that, you experience that. No, but again, lane number 1 returns. I return to I know. Why? Simple answer, purity or impurity. Understand that clearly. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Auspiciousness. May there be auspiciousness for all. We talk a lot, we use this word. So one meaning is knowledge plus joy. What knowledge gives you the joy? Right knowledge. What is the right knowledge? At the level of the body, mind, intellect, ego, thoughts, feeling, past impression. I am the part of the world outside. And at the level of the real self, I am independent, pure consciousness. So that is the right knowledge. It instantly puts you into the joy. So this step is nothing but we are asking the intellect to marry with the mind. Mind at present is married to, I need not to say, you can complete, to the impurity. That sets our behavior and attitude every day. And those behavior and attitude we interact in the world. That brings the unpredictable negative result, and then we start blaming and complaining the world. Everything has stopped. You see that? And now we will continue with the purity of the mind by the breathing 3 different ways. So first, looking deep inside the forehead in the space. Do you see that? I'm saying the same thing again and again. Looking at the forehead, you can identify through the mind. Then I say look inside. Where? In the space. Space is awareness and awareness is the space. There you drop Om Shanti. Yes, you are dropping Om Shanti. Body is already in the state of sensation, comfort and steadiness. And then we say, start breathing from the chest. Expansion of the chest, inhale. Contraction of the chest, exhale. You are not in a hurry, but obviously it has its little speed. Mind is not in a hurry, it is dropping Om Shanti, but breathing is fast. Who notices? Mind. You are continuing the breathing without any resistance from the lane number. You know it, because the lane number 2 provides the right knowledge to the mind. Result will be favorable only. And stop it, do nothing. Whatever you experience in terms of the calmness, relaxation, tingling, that is lane number 3. All experiences takes place in the mind. I have repeated n number of times. Stress and suffering, lane number 1, but it is happening in the mind. 2, you're getting the knowledge. The knowledge translates into a reality. Start with the second breathing from the belly. Longer breath. Inhale, the belly goes out. Exhale, the belly goes in. Om Shanti continues inside the forehead in the space. Continue. Something popped up in my mind. I'll explain to you once you complete this breathing. It's a longer breath because the lower lobes of the lungs are larger than the upper lobes. And that expands the belly means we are breathing little deeper and longer, little more air, if I say so. Be very clear, we are not opposing any knowledge of the science. It's a lane number 2, the knowledge plus action. and stop it. You're already in the lane number 2, means tingling, rest, relaxation, calmness, etc., variety of experiences. So in Kundalini and the Tantra meditation, they ask you to keep a watch on the flow of the breath. You are doing a fast breathing, and the flow of the breath makes you realize that the passage is hollow, like a flute, if I say so. So that prana, that life force, has many openings, like the flute has many holes. And that is equated to the different psychic centers, what is known as the chakras. And now is the time to go for the third breathing, the belly and the chest. Pay attention consciously. First you inhale into the belly, then into the chest. You breathe out from the belly and the chest. Om Shanti continues deep inside the forehead in the space. So that keeps you all the time on the lane number 2. Now see that. I wonder if you all have understood this metaphor of lanes. It's a long, deep and hissing breath. Now we are covering all the lobes of the lung to make it a little rational and so-called scientific. You know? Lower lobes of the lungs, middle lobes of the lungs, and the upper lobes of the lungs. We are filling the air into all. And it can easily be understood when during inhalation, when we inhale first into the belly, then into the chest, and it happens. And stop it. We are still doing 2.5 minutes. Next time we will be doing more about 3 minutes each. Minimum 3 minutes we should reach. Doing nothing. Now, can you check the lane number 3? All experiences takes place in the mind, my friends. Be very clear. And now start breathing deep, silent and slow, moving the mind as you inhale from the crown of the head to the spine inside, reaching to the tailbone, singing Om Shanti. Your Shanti ends at the tailbone during inhalation, and during exhalation, your Om begins at the tailbone, and Shanti ends at the crown of the head. So breath is deep, silent and slow. No noise there. Now do you see you have already put the body into the third lane. Mind is already in the third lane. Means mind accepts that knowledge 100%. And that makes your breath deep, silent and slow. that continuously changing your experiences, which are favorable, conducive, so that this mind can be transcended. I do my best to explain in such a way that you can easily absorb. Now leave this deep, silent, and slow breathing. Return to the cave of your heart. Visualize the triangle. Make it sure that as your mind moves on the side of a triangle, slowly dropping Om Shanti, second, third in a clockwise and anti-clockwise couple of times, and there is a self-check consciously. Where is the self-check? The mind does not jump into the lane number one. So it means the knowledge is realized by the mind. And then in between, once you see, you can, while pushing the mind through by Om at the center of the triangle, deep inside the cave of the heart, and when you realize the mind seemingly stops, you simply drop Shanti, self-absorption. Whether you say it is emptiness or mindfulness or nothingness, it's okay. Once you find the mind jump to the lane number one, so you have the tools. Apply it. Again, come to the lane number two. You cannot force to enter into the lane number three unless the mind is 100% pure. And if it is pure, it naturally goes there. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. How are you, Stephen?
Very good, thank you. It was, I'd have to say, I think I lived in lane number two throughout the entire meditation to the heart center, and then just drove the rest of the way in lane number three.
How easy it is to say that I kept myself in the lane number two, so question of lane number one doesn't arise. So I don't have any issue of discomfort or reaction of the past impression, or I should not complain that my mind is not able to focus. That's wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you. How are you, Jerry and David?
Thank you. Very good. It was, I enjoyed that lane number 1, 2, and 3 because sometimes I / we beat ourselves up for having these thoughts in our mind. But when you break it down into lane 1, 2, and 3, you accept that lane number 1 is there, but you don't participate in it because you're in lane number 2, and then ultimately getting over to lane number 3. So for me, that was very powerful. And then, kind of like Stephen, I spent most of my time in lane number 2, and then by the end it was in lane number 3 and got very cold.
Beautiful. I love your expression that whatever happening in the lane number 1, let it happen. I'm not participating into it. Why the participation? Imperative of mind. That is what we are tackling. Beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
So good. Thank you. Wonderful to be back with everybody.
Yeah.
It felt very seamless. Very seamless. And then I enjoyed 1, 2, and 3. Also, is it Yajna or the?
I know it has more to the mind. I will help you explore. It is more. Everything is happening in the mind. Lane number 1, 2, 3.
No, but the other part of the lesson is it the word? I'm not sure how you're saying it. Is it Yajna or is it the gratitude?
Oh, yajna. It is a gratitude.
How do you say it?
Yajna.
Yajna.
Yajna. Y-A. Normally it is spelled in English as Y-A-J-N-A. Yajna.
Okay.
So it has more to do with the mind, the sacrifices to bring about a change in our behavior and attitude. Beautiful. That is seamless. So how are you, Terry?
I struggled through a lot of impurity until the end. And then in the silence,
Yeah.
That was the part that was the best. It's like, I guess I'm easily distracted by multitasking. So in the silence, I could really concentrate. And that's when I start to go somewhere. So then I always wish that the silence was way longer at the end. Because then it seems to be over all of a sudden, and I'm just starting to
Yeah, yeah.
make progress.
You jumped to the lane number 3 and then you were somewhere that you don't know. That is also the lane number 1. Unconsciousness, habitual impulses, a struggle, they all belong to the lane number 1. I'm driving in a lane number 3. Just take it physically. Physical. Driving on a highway in the lane number 3. And there is an accident in lane number 1. What happens to me? Nothing. Nothing happens. So there is some sense of emotional attachment. That is why everything happens to me. That is why you say I'm struggling.
Well, I'm more in the breath.
Oh yeah. Breath I can make it. But the time will come even you will stop struggling with the breath. Wonderful. How are you, Brandy?
Morning, I'm good, thank you. My practice was really deep and mostly lane 3 today.
Good.
And I had even, like sometimes I had to pull myself back to hear a little bit of lane 2 because I don't know if I was, like I was not hearing anymore.
Beautiful. We should understand, again, the moment I use the word understanding is the knowledge. And knowledge, lane number 2. We normally, what we do, we start struggling with the fighting with the lane number 1. As such, there is no fight. Do you see that, what point I'm making? As such, there is no fight at all. No, I have to struggle a lot. I have to fight a lot. I have to lot to do to control my mind. It will never be controlled. Do whatever you want to do. How can you control the mind? So, how are you, Sam?
Good. Felt like I was able to attack the impurities with the breathing,
Yeah.
and led to some lane 2 and 3 at the end.
Good. So it means whenever there is an impurity, start breathing. Yeah? Is that the solution? Your uncle is laughing. Yes, in the beginning, yes, but in the end, we have to switch to the lane number 2 with the knowledge and understanding. Do whatever you want to do. Whatever is happening in the lane number 1, let it happen. You are clear. So the greater and clear the understanding, but I tell you that it's going to bring about a tremendous change in your outer, personal, professional, social, and a family life. You start working on this yajna or yajna. The first part will cover the 4 parts, 4 more classifications. So how are you, Ashok? He has changed a lot. No, everyone has changed a lot. Why should I compare? Yeah.
During the practice, I was in the most of the time I was in lane number 2, but sometimes I was doing lane number 1, then again switch over to lane number 2. I was not forcing to lane number 3 because it will be the result of lane number 2.
Yes.
So, I mean, that is but it was very peaceful and relaxing and everything. And more focusing, more awareness is there in the
Very
labor.
good. And I could experience your softer and gentler tone. That tells me the story. Very good. How
Thank you
are
very much.
you? How are you, Vaibhav?
Sir, I'm good. It was peaceful, very calm. It's like that when I'm grateful towards my surroundings, like when I'm grateful, then it's also developing a sense of responsibility towards my surroundings.
You're right. It's a great
And
point.
and with that, it not let me not deviate to my focus that I have to be calm and peaceful. It remains me in that lane number three.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What did you say makes a great sense. I'm not going there. Many teachings are pertaining to that. What he said is that the moment I'm grateful, I have a sense of responsibility. Can you open this up? I have a sense of responsibility not to spread the air pollution or water pollution. No. If I can prevent it at the individual level, I'm doing a great service. I'm just giving you an idea. Do you see the deep insight of these masters who have written these verses thousands of years? So he is right in that way. I'm not going there because we are focused on the journey of the self discovery. That's why I talk about it. The moment I have a sense of responsibility, use that sense of responsibility towards yourself. That I'm not going to pace myself. I'm not going to be in stress and suffering, come what may, in any situation, in any condition. How? By Yajna. Are you getting it, Terry?
I'm not sure right at this moment. I thought I was, but right at this moment, I'm not sure.
So when I'm contributing, when I'm grateful to the five elements, it means, or including the sun, also include the sun, then I have a sense of responsibility. So when I have a sense of responsibility, body is made up of the five elements. Mind is also made up of the five elements. I will not put my mind into stress at any point of time. That is one. And second is, I will not create any stressful situation to anyone in the world outside. That is the sense of responsibility. But I explain in a different way because that extends the topic, so I'm not going there. When I am grateful, then I have a sense of responsibility, then I'm responsible that I should prevent at the individual level air pollution, water pollution, etc., etc., etc. So, because it is reflecting in my mind, that reflection causes the purity of the mind. You see, now I can continue. That's all for today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.